But not really a good performance from either boxer.
10 points to the winner of the round, proportionate number to the loser, and never lower than 7. But these obviously have been, I think, a lot of 10-10s and 10-9 rounds here.
See, earlier in the fight there, you saw Chris making a face, and you thought it was at Essett. It's actually Essett's corner. He's complained a couple of times about the screaming coming from the corner. He's just done it again then.
Yeah, there's no inspectors as we have in Britain and in America, indeed. They may be there, but they're saying nothing.
Yeah, he's actually, and if he was concentrating on the job, Reg, you wouldn't be hearing anybody shouting. He should be concentrating more on the job at hand, ignoring everything else.
Oh dear, slow motion again.
I think the referee wants to grab a hold of the two of them, Reg, and
yeah, exactly.
Tell them he wants some action here. I mean, Harry Gibbs, he wouldn't be putting up with the spells between the action here.
Strange enough, Harry Gibbs and Larry O'Connell were the judges when Essett fought, two of the judges when he fought Galvano in Italy. As you say, old Harry boy would have given him a bit of a G-up, wouldn't he? I think a little bit of London docker talk would do him good here.
More positive work coming from Eubank now. This is better. Just stay there and let the punches flow. Force Essett to open up and come back with something. See, Eubank has never put him under enough pressure.
He's been stopped twice, actually, Jim Essett. I mean, he's stoppable, all right. Dal Jackson and the Korean Bayat did it.
But Eubank has allowed Essett to box at his own pace all the way through. This is exactly what Essett would have hoped would be happening. Nice, steady, slow pace, no pressure.
He's taking the circle line now, you see, Eubank. There he goes again. He just cannot feint and draw him onto anything, Jim Kelly. He won't have it, Essett. He's too smart for him in that sense.
See, Eubank's backing off, trying to draw him onto the single counter again when he should be just marching forward into range. You can afford to take a chance. This fellow doesn't look as though he can hurt him. He's stronger than the Essett is, so he should be using the strength, put him under pressure and let some punches flow, but he's never done it.
Well, there, we've seen the pose 1,000 times. It's not quite the time to stand in the middle of the ring and do. He's getting the crowd at it anyway, isn't he? And really, it's not an act. That's exactly what he wants to do. He's very single-minded the whole time, in and out the ring. You have to have another look, pinned in that corner.
Yeah, one of the few times when he's actually put Essett under pressure, let some punches flow. See, he was forcing Essett to open up there, but he broke off, didn't sustain it. And one of my criticisms of Eubank over the years is that he doesn't sustain an attack. Now this is where he should have stayed in there. Instead of stopping there and breaking off, he should have stayed in that corner with Essett.
So a good close-up there of Essett, isn't it? And getting a real running over there. They think in that corner that they can steal the championship on the side of it. 11th round. Both the seconds looked up at the number of the round board as the lady came by. I often wonder whether the ringsiders ever get up that far when she goes by. So 11th. And finally it's livened up a bit too. Certainly not a lot of power from Essett, is it, Georgia?
No, we didn't expect much power from Essett. We expected the power to come from Eubank and the strength to come from Eubank, but it hasn't used either. He's been standing off all the way through. As I say, I just think that Eubank feels his title's not in danger. It's not a great performance, not a great fight. As long as he keeps his title, he's not too worried, and that's what he's doing.
There's one thing for sure, although these British footballers actually up in the stands here, and Leeds manager Howard Wilkins, and they won't be using the soccer speak about the boy done well here, will they?
See, I think if Essett was landing more punches, it would force Eubank to perform better. I feel like Eubank only really performs when he has to. He obviously feels he's hanging on to his title. It's not a great performance, but he's quite happy. This is better. He wants to stay there, let the punches flow.
He's got the style of a sort of cut-down heavyweight, Ron Essett, don't you think, Jim? It's the sort of the speed he works at.
Yeah, that's right, that lazy, laid-back style, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he would almost fall off his stool when he goes back in the corner. He really is laid back. He won't get laid out, though, the way it's going.
See, Eubanks having another lazy spell. Essett drilling home one or two little leads in right hands.
Sitting on a 0-0 draw here, Jim, we could be. What do you think, Jim? Could that really happen? Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they're well fenced in these judges.
I think you would have to give Eubank the nod just because he seems to be the boss. Although, I mean, this is another bad round for him. He's making so many mistakes, and Essett is punishing for the mistakes. You know, not hurtful punches, but he's flicking home the jabs in the right hands. Eubank landing nothing.
Yeah, tradition, of course, when it's close like this, the champion usually gets the nod.
All the way through, Reg, we've seen very few good clean punches landed, so anything can happen as far as points are concerned.
Well, I tell you, nobody would be closer to the fight of the weekend apart from the competitors, and we still can't really be heavy on how this is going. Is it going to be a one-pointer, is it going to be level, or do you think they'll have Eubank running control anyway?
There were so many rounds, Reg, where not a great deal has happened. I mean, nobody has ever really been in full control for any time during the fight. You see, Eubank started the previous round at a decent pace, put us under some pressure, but then just dropped off and did virtually nothing for the last couple of minutes. So because of Eubank's laziness, you have to give Essett a few of the rounds, and that'll certainly tighten up the decision. That'll be quick.
Coming up for the last round now. Can this one make all the difference? There it is, 3 minutes now, and the official formality of touching gloves, they've been doing it all the way through. There's been the slightest sign of a foul. For the first time they're dropping heads together, Jim. That shows he's a little bit weary. I'm not sure why, but hasn't been enough action for him to fall down at all.
So you can see Essett's a decent performer because when Eubank makes up some of these blatant mistakes that he makes, he has been punished for them. Eubank keeps saying it, he's never put Essett under enough pressure.
Hope we don't get the drawn out await for the decision this time. I tried to explain to the WBO supervisor that we wouldn't mind it coming a bit quicker, please.
I'll tell you, Reg, I've never seen Mickey Duff so excited at ringside. He's screaming Essett on. They must obviously feel he's in with a great shout because they're screaming and trying to draw Essett on, trying to make him finish with a busy round. So they obviously feel it's very close. It's not been a great contest, Reg, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been a close one.
Exactly.
A lot of lazy rounds for Eubank when he was doing nothing and he's missing as he is doing now. Essett pinning him with the counters. So that has to tighten up the decision. I feel Eubank has been the boss all the way through. A very poor performance, but I feel he's done enough to hang on to the title. But
yes, he's been the aggressor, and that usually counts, doesn't it? Particularly with one American judge among the three.
I mean, Essett did nothing really for the first 3 or 4 rounds. But Mickey Duff, who is a fair judge, Reg, he is really screaming Essett on.
Well, he's got a piece of the action here, Jim. He just might have a little bit of bias going there. The only other time I've seen him get equally excited was when dear old Frank actually did tag Mike Tyson early on, and I thought for a minute we had a world champion in our hands, but it didn't happen. You watch both of them raise their hands at the end of this one, Jim. Now that doesn't make any difference because all the cards from the 11 rounds have actually been handed over to the supervisor now, so it won't sway the judges.
Eubank's technique against a tricky opponent once again has been found lacking here.
Well, that's the first time he's exchanged punches with him, Essett. Look at this. He fancies his luck, look.
I'm alarmed at a couple of times of exchanged punches, the way Eubank is backed off. He doesn't seem prepared to take a shot, to stay in there and land one. He backs off whenever he gets hit, Eubank.
Oh, come in, mate. He says no. A bit too late for that now. I think it's your job as well, Eubank, to get in there and do the business. What's left of the round? Not a lot. And I said that was what would happen. And the way, while he's doing that, Eubank is posing. He's trying to get the crowd to cheer, hoping that the sway decision, but that won't happen because it's already been decided. Although who knows if it's that close on the last round. He's calling out to Nicky Duff there from Essex Corner. Jim,
yeah, they feel they've won the fight, Reg. They certainly feel they've won the fight. Eubank's lazy rounds, but Essex's slow start won't help him, but he certainly come on to some decent boxing. But Reg, we must say it was not a classic World Championship contest, was it?
Oh no, it's seen far better than that, but you know, as I said early on, sometimes style, and everybody asked me before, or everybody locally, and I said I think Essett will go all the way with him because that's his style. So here's Gary Newbon then with Nicky Duff. While we wait the decision.
Surely Eubanks just sneaked that one, hasn't he?
I don't think so, but given that he's the major attraction and the WBO needs big attractions, I wouldn't be surprised. But the other kid is from nowhere, and he's the one who pulls in the money. But for me, he hasn't won the fight. For me, the winner is Essett.
Why?
Because he landed most of the punches. Nothing that Eubank did was effective. He went forward, but only in spasms. Most of the rounds at the finish, Eubank met him punch for punch with far better quality punches.
Never seen you so excited for a long while when it's not one of all your boxer, you know, an English boxer.
I'm excited. I'm always excited to see somebody who's got a chance to win a world title.
So there it is. Certainly, Essett looks really pleased with himself there. But will this be a third letdown for him? Well, he knew he'd lost obviously in the 11th round in career. He couldn't argue with that one. And off come the hand wraps. It's those strong fists are like bolts in there actually. And Eubank has those taped up like a Roman cestus. But meanwhile, Essex courting affection there a little bit. And I just wish now that supervisor would quickly, it must be a close one, Jim. Maybe that's why they're recounting the scores.
Yeah, it won't be surprised with Edge if it's close. As I say, Eubank has a lot of lazy rounds and he missed with a lot of punches. He could never pin Essett down. But I just feel that Essett wasn't doing enough in the early stages of the fight. I don't really think he came onto his own until about the 7th or 8th round. He started producing some decent punches. Up until then,
oh, there really it is, Jim, interrupting you there. That's the supervisor coming in the ring in the dress suit there and giving it over to MC Alan Hughes and is explaining how he wants him to announce it because they made a mess of the last one with Colin McMillan's fight, which they said was split and in fact wasn't, and had to alter it later.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and here it is.
Judge Rafael Gomez Bravo scores the contest 110 to 118.
Oh, what a runaway that one. 118
Robert
to 110.
scores the contest 113 to 117.
Well, that's big as well.
Rutenbruel scores the contest 112 to 117. The winner and still...
Yes, Eubank. And Jim, he's won it clearly. I think that's a little bit too generous, 110, 118, don't you?
The scoring makes it look like a convincing victory for Eubank. Convincing, but not a convincing performance, Reg. A very, very poor performance, I felt. I did feel he had won there, hung on to his title, but not a good performance.
Well, now we're going to see the Ben fight. He's going to need that now to get the popularity back. And there's Gary with Eubank.
Chris, it was a unanimous decision, but it wasn't really a treat in the heat. It wasn't a good fight tonight.
Well, I done the best I could. This opponent, I hit him with a shot in about the 6th round, and believe me, he can take a shot. Otherwise, I would have had him out of there. This was a good fight for me, regardless of what the public says. This was a good...
Well, the public are very important, and you've got to get back into this Ben situation. I know you don't want it. What is the situation now? We've got to have you back, Ben, if we're going to keep you a big star.
Do we have time to talk?
Yes, go quickly.
Well, let me tell you, the heat is on. the confrontation is going to take place.
For the Ben fight?
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
on.
It's on. The 26th of September.
Right.
The man's called me a coward. The man's called me, he's provoked me, he's intimidated me. I want to prove to the public that I'm not what he says I am, and so therefore, let the game start. Let the game start, and we'll see who's the better man on the night of the 26th of September. I'm the man. I want to stay that way. I don't think you can move me. If you can move me, I'll give you the respect, and I won't begrudge you the win, but I don't think that's possible.
Are you getting £1 million for this fight?
I've had to compromise my situation because what has happened here is this man has said that I'm a coward, and this I'm not, and I must honor myself and make this right. Now we'll see who's the real man. September 26th. Let me just say hello to my wife, Karen. I haven't been home for 2 weeks. Love you to the bone. Coming home.
Why have you changed your mind, and where will the fight be, very quickly?
Why? You just asked me that. Why? We don't know where the fight is. The reason I'm taking the fight is because people are questioning my manhood. People are saying to me, how can you give it a title? I've got to prove it right that I'm the man, and let's do it.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Chris Eubank chatting away with Gary Newbon. Frank, he said that was a good fight from his point of view. Would you agree with that?
Not from where I was sitting, you know what I mean? The guy made him look very ordinary, missing and all that, but it takes two to tango, and the guy just came to survive, and he done pretty well at the last rounds, but Chris made it up in the earlier rounds.
But it now looks as though it's on, doesn't it?
It'd be a good
Eubank and
fight,
Ben
you know what I mean?
September.
Good crowd puller, because, you know, that's what they need, a generation. I think he's come to his senses. He must have heard me talking, because he can have two fights with this Ron Ellis or Essex.
Yeah, Essex.
And he would make up the
Right.
money that he's going to get at the Ben fight, and it's a very constructive fight for him, both of them, to take anyway.
I've enjoyed your company, Frank.
I enjoyed
You're
your
off
company.
back to Essex, aren't you?
Essex boy, I am.
Have a safe
That's
trip
right.
back, won't you?
Cheers.
We're back here at Birmingham's Alexander Stadium with athletics and rugby tomorrow at 4. Treat in the heat, I don't know about that. More like a bore by the seashore. From us all, bye-bye.